Hi everybody, I'm Victoria Weather Meteorologist Ryan Henning with a video verification on this beautiful Thursday morning. I figured we had a video forecast for Lafayette, Louisiana 3 days ago, so why not go ahead with a video verification. I don't have the monitor here with the numbers all in front of you for you to look at and criticize, so you're just going to have to take my word for it. The Gulf coastal temperatures can tend to be pretty set in stone. There's not usually a whole lot of variance from model guidance along the coast because temperatures are so well modified by the warm Gulf air. And that's kind of how it turned out the last 2 days in Lafayette. There wasn't a whole lot of error in temperature forecasting. We had a range in forecast highs, for example, from about 78 to 81. And it did check in at 81 both Tuesday and Wednesday in Lafayette. So everybody was pretty much on the mark there. And then the low temperatures didn't stray too far from 60 degrees either. So everybody was pretty much on the nose there. If there was any difference in the forecast versus what actually verified, it was in the precip. There was a little trace of light drizzle on Tuesday with southerly flow feeding a developing system over the plains, and nobody really had that. I think there was more anticipation for some showers on Wednesday, and those actually didn't happen. So there were actually a handful of people that forecasted rain on Wednesday, and it was dry, and nobody forecast rain on Tuesday, and there was a trace of drizzle, and it looked a lot more ominous than I think I was expecting yesterday, even as a field of thunderstorms developed inland from about Beaumont, Texas, down to Corpus Christi, but they never worked their way towards Lafayette. So our forecast at Victoria Weather and the Weather Channel and Forecast.io, we didn't have thunderstorms on yesterday, and that worked out. But the way everything played out, there were three temperature forecasts that were above and beyond everybody else, and those were AccuWeather, WeatherBug, and the National Weather Service, and they all tied at the top in terms of forecast, but they also had the hiccup where they had the rain in the forecast, so they were knocked back down. And then the Weather Channel and Forecast.io actually ended up tying them, so there's a five-way tie at the top spot. So if you were looking for a forecast a few days ago for Lafayette, you pretty much would have been in good shape no matter who you went with. The two that didn't tie, Victoria Weather and Weather Nation, we weren't even that far off. So it was B's all around if you check out the forecast grade at the bottom of our verifications. So that's not as great as we would hope, especially since we were knocked down by faulty precip forecast, and that's what most people check when they look at forecasts and whether or not they're going to verify as accurate. So that's a little frustrating, especially when along the Gulf Coast, like I said, you can usually take a temperature forecast in southern Louisiana and go to the bank with that, because you usually don't have the cold Arctic outbreaks and northerly flow dropping temperatures greatly beyond what's anticipated, and the humidity in the area usually does a pretty good job of keeping temperatures from going much higher than what people would expect. So yeah, we did great on temperatures, but it's a bummer that we missed out on the precip forecast. But yeah, five-way tie at the top, that's not too bad. Since I got you here, we've also got it figured out who won the Forecaster of the Month award for the month of March. It was a pretty dormant month in terms of thunderstorms, despite the climatological history of the last 10 years or so saying that March is a fairly active month. Of course, we looked at how quiet this March was and compared it to last March as well. Excuse me. And both of those Marches were pretty quiet. So either way, it was a neck and neck battle at the top, and AccuWeather ended up earning their second Forecaster of the Month award for the year, and behind them was us, Victoria Weather, just half a point behind them. So it was very close. And despite AccuWeather winning Forecaster of the Month 2 months out of the 3 and Victoria Weather winning it 1, AccuWeather was so bad in February that Victoria Weather is still number 1 for the year. So go us. But congratulations to AccuWeather, and we'll get you in April. So, I mean, I don't really have a whole lot planned in terms of forecasting for you with this morning's video, but I will just point out that there is an enhanced risk for severe weather, particularly with the threat for some isolated tornadoes. The storms are going to be much later tonight, so there's not a whole lot for me to show you yet on radar. There's a few that are firing in southern Illinois and to Missouri, but the primary threat, and again, the SPC, the Storm Prediction Center, has a enhanced risk, which is kind of between slight and moderate. It's the new format that the NWS is issuing their thunderstorm outlooks. But the enhanced risk, and again, this is for about a 5% chance of tornadoes. And by 5% chance of tornadoes, I mean it's a 5% chance that there will be a tornado within 25 miles of a particular point within that 5% bounded area. But that area stretches from about Evansville, Indiana, to Joplin, Missouri, so through southern Illinois, far western Kentucky, and southern Missouri. So be on the lookout there. Then the slight extends even further northeast towards Ohio, and then back into northeastern Oklahoma and southeastern Kansas. So if you're in those areas, be on the lookout for some strong thunderstorms. It's a pretty weather-aware area, so I'm trusting that you will know exactly who to consult if the weather looks like it's taking a turn for the worse. So be on the lookout for that. And thunderstorms are probably going to hold off and turning particularly severe. There may be a few isolated storms during that between now and about 7, but they're really going to take off. The line's going to congeal after about 6 or 7 p.m. tonight. So it's going to be after dark, so don't go out chasing if you're into that, because you're not going to see it anyway. So just hunker down and let the meteorologist looking at the radar try to keep you safe. But that's it for me. I hope you all have a happy Easter this weekend. Posting may be intermittent this weekend because of the holiday, but I will try to check in with you. Have a happy holiday. For Victoria Weather, I'm meteorologist Ryan Henning.